I really hesitate making this video. I've been sitting here at my desk, which is actually just a folding table. I've been sitting here for like 5 minutes waiting to just click the button. Because 2 weeks ago I sat here and I said I wasn't going to whine anymore. And I'm like going through my head how I'm not going to whine. Like, this isn't whining. I just want to be transparent. I want to be transparent about what's going on. I'm not trying to white knight, not trying to self-victimize, anything like that. Like, this has nothing to do with me. I want to make that like very, very clear right away. I believe transparency is very important. I am genuinely concerned about the future of the Pokemon card hobby. I really am. I am genuinely concerned about where we are going to be 2 years from now. Not because I think that Pokemon will be completely gone, but the local game store where many of you go to play the Pokemon trading card game, I think that's in jeopardy because of what's going on. And there's a phrase. Don't bite the hand that feeds you, which you guys have heard of. It's a very common phrase. Don't bite the hand that feeds you. And Pokemon has always been great to me. I love Pokemon. I love the Pokemon Company International. I think it's filled with amazing, amazing people. And I do think that they are doing their best, what they can, to try and remedy a lot of what's going on. You see more vending machines pop up, and you see other things happening, these restocks happening. They've changed, the entire system of how they accept orders and pre-orders and things like that on PokemonCenter.com. It's still just not working, I guess. I don't know. Like, you have people, like, we've streamed the last 2 days. Both days, I don't know, Pokemon's like, Fanny's streaming, let's drop something. Both days, people have logged in like a minute, not even a minute after it goes live, and they're like 400,000 in the queue ahead of them, which is crazy. And people, like the average consumer, whether you're a mom or a dad trying to buy some cards for yourself, for your collection, or for your kids, or you're a teenager trying to buy some cards for yourself, or a kid who can't even go online to use a credit card, so you got to find cards in stores somehow. The average consumer, it's unattainable. Pokemon cards right now are unattainable for the average consumer. Every once in a while, you will get lucky. And yes, I understand. If there are some sets out there that nobody else wants, collect those. I get that mindset. Okay, yeah, you want Pokemon cards? Here's Pokemon cards. Here's some Shrouded Fable. Okay, but people get sick of opening up the same thing over and over again, and they want something new. Not necessarily because it's worth money, but because they don't have any of that product, and they want to open up that product. And it is FOMO everywhere. Not fear of missing out completely, but fear of missing out at MSRP, because MSRP just doesn't exist anymore. And MSRP used to be a completely taboo word in the Pokemon trading card game. You did not pay anywhere near MSRP for Pokemon cards until really the pandemic. And then even last year, if you were charging MSRP for Pokemon cards, you were flat out ripping people off. And it wasn't really necessarily looked down upon, but nobody was going to buy. Can you imagine buying a Stellar Crown booster box at release for MSRP? Nobody was paying $160 for a Stellar Crown booster box. That was 8 months ago. 8 months ago, the idea of an MSRP booster box was crazy. It was crazy. People were buying cases of Stellar Crown for like $600. Even pre-ordering Surging Sparks a month before release, you could find it for $105, $110 per box, really without breaking a sweat. And now here we are, this idea of FOMO, and that's why you have 400,000 people, now a lot of those are probably bots, flocking to get to the Pokemon Center website to buy a drop of a product that they don't even know until after, they get in line, and then they see what's available eventually. Like originally on Wednesday, it was Shrouded Fable Elite Trainer boxes. Then maybe they masked it a little bit, and then eventually they put up Prismatic Evolutions Elite Trainer boxes as well. So that's a huge win for a lot of people. A lot of people didn't get any and just ended up sitting in a queue for ever, just not to get anything. But that's unattainable for a lot of people who are working, maybe the teachers or first responders, or it doesn't matter what your job is, but if your job does not allow you to be on your phone or by a computer, or kids who are in school, or teenagers who are in school, it's unattainable for the average person. And yeah, you might find some stuff at Target or Best Buy or Walmart. But the only way this gets fixed is with Pokemon. And they have announced that they're going to print more. And I fully believe that they have printed more. I fully believe that there is more that's going out there because you do see all these new places that are all of a sudden selling Pokemon cards, like Dick's Sporting Goods and Ace Hardware, and your local convenience stores have Pokemon cards. And there's Pokemon card sleeve booster packs all over at all these different places that weren't selling them before. And then you have all these new vending machines pop up. And you have issues with people trying to scalp and people camping out in front of them and buying things up to resell in the secondary market and yada, yada, yada. Yeah, it's our job not to buy from them, yada, yada, yada. I get all that. And don't bite the hand that feeds you. I understand. Okay, this is going to go all over the place. We're going to run in circles like crazy. Don't bite the hand that feeds you. I love Pokemon. I love the Pokemon Company International. I think it's full of wonderful people. They've been very, very nice to me, very good to me. The collaborations that we've done together, and hopefully we'll continue to do in the future. Like they asked me, I will be attending Worlds as a creator. And I'm very excited for that. I'm very excited. I had so much fun last year. I'm super stoked to be going to Anaheim again, or Anaheim for Worlds again. I can't wait. Like, it's going to be a lot of fun. But I would be remiss if I didn't say anything, because I am genuinely concerned. I am genuinely concerned about what's going on. I'm not going to use my store for any examples. I did get numbers for Destined Rivals, but we'll talk about that next week. And things are fine. Like, numbers look fine. That's fine. Price points not as fine as I want them to be. And that's kind of what this video is more about. It's more about different stores because I was talking to a storefront and several storefronts, and I'm going to start with one who was talking to me about the Prismatic Evolutions reprint. This is a reprint, not a restock. This is a reprint. That means Pokemon physically is printing more copies of this Elite Trainer box and then sending them out to distribution. Distribution works in multiple ways. So you have one segment that feeds Pokemon feeds distributors that then feed LGSs, online LGSs, brick and mortar LGSs, who then sell to the end consumer. Then you have distribution, which feeds into retail stores, marketing companies that stock those retail stores. That's completely different. So I'm only talking about the distributors that feed into LGSs, brick and mortar, online, things like that. I had a store reach out to me on X, and they just tagged me and said that they were getting charged $100 for a Prismatic Evolutions reprint. And when the word reprint hits you as a store owner, and the way it should hit you as an end consumer, that means that these products are getting fed to distribution from Pokemon. I understand markups from distributors, wholesale distributors, because right now there really just is nothing for them to order. So when they would typically run out of product at distribution, they would be able to order more from the Pokemon Company International, their big warehouses. They would be like, hey, send me this, and Pokemon would be like, okay, we'll pack it up and we'll send it over to you. Here's 14 pallets or something of whatever you need, and there you go. When it's a reprint, they still get to do that. Pokemon is going to allocate each distributor a certain amount. And then distributors get to decide what they're going to do with it. That's important. Distributors get to decide what they're going to do with it, how they are going to disperse it to LGSs, what price they are going to charge to LGSs. And one distributor in specific that this storefront was talking about is charging $100 for a reprint, which means that they are getting charged the same price from Pokemon for this product, and then they are choosing to sell it for $100. Now, for various reasons, which I'll get into in a second. Normally, if Pokemon does not have any product, distributors have to get creative. So they will talk to some of their big accounts. Maybe their big account will reach out to them and they'll be like, hey, we still have, X amount of Elite Trainer boxes. We still have X amount of sleeve boosters. You've been really good to us. We'll sell some of these back to you at, 30% off of whatever market price is. And the distributor's like, okay, yeah, that's great. We can get some product in. We can feed that to other LGSs. They can save a little bit of money. We'll charge them 15% under market and they can charge market. So that's fine. Like if you see other Elite Trainer boxes going up, let's say Battle Styles or Shrouded Fable or things like that, that might not be available at the Pokemon Center, or it might not be available at the Pokemon warehouse. Maybe the distributor got it from another store, a bigger store that just didn't move them, didn't have them. They had them in their back room, or they had them in a warehouse, and they're like, yeah, we'll filter some back to our distributor. Okay, but this is a reprint. This is something where they are getting directly from Pokemon at X price to sell at Y price to the end consumer. And the storefront that I just talked to is telling me that they're getting charged $100 per Elite Trainer box. The market price on Elite Trainer boxes for Prismatic is like $120. What are you supposed to do when you're getting charged $100 from your wholesale company, from your wholesale distributor? I was talking to one distributor the other day, a couple days ago, who told me that they would give me a fair amount, not my main distributor, but a secondary distributor, and they're like, we can give you a fair amount for $60. I charge $50 for Prismatic Evolutions. And this is a reprint. Like, this should be normal pricing. Like, I understand that this is a market, like this is a business, you're going to want to make money too. But where is the line here? Where is the line that works here? Because this isn't it. This is not it for an LGS who is trying to do anything to keep their doors open. They finally get a time where Pokemon cards are selling at MSRP and they're being charged double MSRP just from their distro. Like, that is just completely messed up. Like, that's messed up. Pokemon needs to step in. Pokemon needs to step in somehow. I don't know how. And I'm not going to say, I am saying, Pokemon, you should do this. I guess I am saying that. Like, I think that needs to be done. Like, you have a list of distros. You can Google it. You can literally go to Google and you can say, who are Pokemon Card Distributors? And it will give you a list. Official Pokemon website will give you a list of all the distros in North America, in Canada, in the EU. And you can call them. You can go online. You can fill out applications if you want to work with a distro and start your own storefront or rip and ship or whatever you want to call it. Like, they're out there. Like, Pokemon knows who they are. So, like, I don't know. Can't there be some contractual agreement that, hey, you can't charge market price on something that we're charging, X dollars for? And maybe I'm way off base here, which is possible. I've been wrong before. Maybe Pokemon is like, hey, we're going to charge you closer to market price. So I doubt it, but it's possible. But for a distro to get in stuff and to charge $100 for a Prismatic ETB is lunacy in my mind. And they will sit here, because this is a conversation that I had, they will sit here and they will say it's justifiable because they do not have other Pokemon cards that they are getting. And that's fair to an extent. That is fair to an extent. What are we supposed to do as a distro? And this is where the empathy has to come in. This is where the empathy has to settle in, because you have to understand every angle. So if I'm talking to this distro and they are telling me we're charging $100 for Prismatic Evolutions Elite Trainer boxes because we can't get any other Pokemon products in because there's none to order, well, that's another issue. That's a bigger issue, but it all stems from Pokemon that needs to be fixed. So where are all these extra Pokemon cards going? Are they going to retail stores who never carry Pokemon? Are they going to all these vending machines that are all of a sudden popping up? Are they getting backdoored from distros? Are they getting backdoored from marketing companies or from retail stores and big box stores? I don't know. But at the end of the day, that's Pokemon's job to figure out and fix. Or otherwise, because the only person that is suffering and the person who's going to lose out is the end consumer. And what is going to happen then? The end consumer is done. The end consumer is done playing Pokemon. They're done collecting Pokemon. The LGSs can't get any cards in. And when they do get cards in, they are labeled as scalpers because they are getting charged double MSRP for a product that then they have to turn and sell above market in order to turn any profit. So all of a sudden, cancel culture works at its best. Don't shop here. Don't shop at Timmy's card store because he's charging $140 for a Prismatic Evolutions ETB when market price is only $120. Well, little did you know that he got charged $110 from distro and he had to take them or he wasn't going to get any destined rivals. He wasn't going to get anything because your account spend history dictates how much allocation you get. And that leads me into another story about a different storefront who called me the other day when they got destined rivals numbers in, and he was super excited. I'm super happy for him. He got 36 boxes of destined rivals, which is great. And the reason it's great is because he only got 12 of Journey Together. So 2 cases of Journey Together, you work hard, you build up allocations, and he's really excited because he got 36 boxes of destined rivals. And he said, I can limit them to 1 per person. I can sell them at MSRP. The profit margin looks good. Like, I'm getting charged a little bit more than what wholesale typically is, but that's fine because there's still enough margin there. And I can reach 30 additional customers or 24 additional customers that I wasn't able to reach before. And then he ended it with, and then maybe I can sell some of those Elestrals boxes I've been buying too. And I said, what? You sell Elestrals also? How does that work? And I know he's got a storefront. I know he's got a brick and mortar store. So I'm assuming he's got a league. And I don't know anything about Elestrals. I'm sure Elestrals is a fine card game. I don't know anything about it. But he said, well, yeah, I've got Elestrals. I've just been buying anything that I can. Everything that I can. Anything that's in stock. And I've been putting it on the website. I've been putting it in the storefront. I haven't sold a box of it yet. You know how dangerous that is? Like, this is what we've created. This is what we have created, is you are going out and you are buying buying a card game that you have no customer base for. Well, what are you doing to reach the Lestrals card players? What I mean, you're trying so hard to increase your Pokemon allocations, which means to me that you work with a lot of Pokemon card collectors. You know, they must come in. What are you doing to reach your Lestrals customers then? Like, where do you find those? Like, what are you doing to branch out to those if you haven't sold a box? What are we doing? Like, what are we doing here? Like, all of a sudden, you're spending all this money on Lestrals to get your Pokemon card allocations up. Is that difference in margin? Is that going to cover it? Like, it's so dangerous. It is so dangerous. And you sit here and you talk to this store owner, and I'm like, I hope it works. I really hope it sells. But that's what I'm talking about when I'm genuinely concerned for what's going to happen. So distros are sitting here and they're saying, well, yeah, we're overcharging because we're not getting enough Pokemon cards. Storefronts are charging because they're getting overcharged from distros. And the only people who can get Pokemon cards are the ones who have to sit online for an hour in a queue of 400,000 people to try and get an Elite Trainer box. And I understand it's different for like the Pokemon Center drops because this is an exclusive Elite Trainer box. It's completely different. Like the exclusive Elite Trainer box is a very in-demand product. Every time it releases, it's going to be like the Switch 2 releases all over again, where the demand is just going to be crazy. But for the average consumer, the consumers who are going to continue to grow the hobby, like we are running into a position right now where, yeah, Pokemon is very, very in demand, and the hype for Pokemon is like it's never been before. But where will it be in a year and a half from now when people are so frustrated, or there's no Pokemon cards not enough Pokemon cards to go around, or too many Pokemon cards to go around, or storefronts are closing up their shop because they've got walls of Elestrals and walls of Yu-Gi-Oh and walls of whatever, you know, that they can't move because they've never established a customer base because they are just buying whatever they can buy in order to increase their Pokemon card allocations. And that's the mindset that we're in right now. And part of that is probably miscommunication from people learning to do their own store, learning to open up their own card store where they're like, well, I've got to increase spend. I'm going to order a bunch of candy. I'm going to order a bunch of dice. I'm going to order a bunch of sleeves, whatever I can get. So that way it raises my number, raises my spend. And all of a sudden you're competing against other stores left and right to try and spend more dollars. And it's just such a dangerous game because at the end of the day, it's not being policed at all. It's not being watched at all. It's just like this chaotic market of just wow. And it blows my mind. Like, how is a storefront, going back to what I was talking about before with my store numbers, a decent amount of Prismatic Evolutions Elite Trainer boxes coming in, $60 per. What am I supposed to do? Sell them at a $10 loss? Well, if I'm going to stick to my integrity, yeah, you sell them at a $10 loss. You close up shop, you move on, you go get a full-time job, and you say, well, it was a good run. We tried. And that's what it is. It is what it is. Okay, that is what it is. Guess that's what we're doing. I mean, what else are you supposed to do? But that's the mindset you have to go by. Otherwise, you get labeled a scalper. People like hate you. I don't know. Like, that's what happened with the pandemic. Like, a lot of storefronts closed up shop because all of a sudden everybody, I mean, there was literal hate mail coming in to storefronts. Like, if you go back and you watch some of the YouTube videos from then, like, storefronts were literally getting hate. They were getting broken into. They were getting stuff smashed because they were charging more. Well, now here we are, and distros are charging more, and card stores, what are they supposed to do? So I talked to the guy who was getting charged $100, and it was like, no, you gotta sell them. You gotta sell them at market. You don't have a choice. What other choice do you have? There's no other Pokemon cards for you to order either. So what are you supposed to do? At the end of the day, it all boils down to the top. And you just sit here and you say, okay, well, I guess I'm going to order them. And if they don't sell, they don't sell. I'm not going to tell my customers to buy Prismatic Evolutions Elite Trainer boxes at $120. I'm not going to do it. If I have to sell Prismatic Evolutions Elite Trainer boxes at $120, don't buy them. Don't buy them, and then we just close up shop. And that is what it is, because this is the situation that, unfortunately, as much as I love you, Pokemon, you have created. Because right now, it is not a fear of missing out on the cards. It is a fear of missing out at MSRP. And the only place right now that is selling at MSRP is Pokemon. Everywhere else is not. Target is selling above MSRP. GameStop is selling above MSRP. Everybody's selling above MSRP except for Pokemon. So you get these queues of 400,000 people. You get bots lining up all over the place, and the extra Pokemon cards that are being printed, I mean, I don't know where they're going, but I'm assuming they're either going to retail stores who are charging over MSRP, or they're going into vending machines that are getting eaten up by scalpers. Despite the fact that we're trying to limit, it's just not working. And that's how we got here. This video wasn't even supposed to come out today. I don't know why this video came out today. I decided this is what I wanted to talk about. I was going to talk about the fun cost of Prismatic, but we'll talk about that on Sunday. Next week, we'll talk about Destined Rivals numbers, and we'll talk about tag teams, which have been absolutely nuts. But I do think it needs to get out there that right now, it's important to band together. And this is where it all boils down. We will get through this. Like, no matter what. And I'm not sitting here to complain. I don't want to complain. I just want to be transparent. I just want to let you know that if you go to your local game store and they have Prismatic Evolutions Elite Trainer boxes for $120, don't buy it. But don't sit there and assume that they're scum. Because chances are they're not. Chances are they're getting charged way too much for that Prismatic Evolutions Elite Trainer box from distro. And the distro is sitting there and they're saying, well, we don't have any other Pokemon cards to order, so we got to make our money somehow. And they're right. They do have to make their money somehow. They're a distro. They've got huge warehouses they have to pay for, huge heating bills, huge electric bills, employees, freight charges. They got tons of bills that they got to pay for. And if they can't get a bunch of Pokemon cards in and that's the product that is selling, then they're probably like, okay, yeah, order some Elastros, order some Yu-Gi-Oh, order some other stuff that's not moving so well, so that way we can keep paying all of our bills, and we will just sell Pokemon cards for more until things heal. Well, when are things going to heal? That's what we got. That's the transparency I think I'm looking for. I don't know about you guys, but I'm genuinely concerned about what the state of the hobby looks like in 2 years when things do settle down. Like, we'll get through this. We'll get through the 30th anniversary next year, and then the people who came here just to make money will kind of filter away. But where is it going to leave your local game store that wants to build a culture and wants to build a community and wants to build a brand for themselves and wants to encourage people to come in and play Pokemon because they were labeled scalpers and people stopped going into them because things were so bad? So I thought it was important to just kind of explain. I don't know. I don't even know what this video really entailed, but I think it's important to communicate what's going on. And there's got to be a way to fix it. There's got to be a way that one of the biggest media franchises in the world can fix it. And I understand it's not going to happen overnight. I think we all understand that. But we have been talking about that for 4.5 months now, that it's not going to happen overnight. So if Pokemon operates 8 months behind, like I thought maybe Destined Rivals numbers would look a little bit better. The black and white set, maybe by Worlds, things will get a little bit better. But like transparency, communication, like Pokemon keeps putting out pretty much the same, same thing over and over again. It's just, I don't know. I feel like you just got to step in somewhere and be like, these are reprinted products. If you want to continue to distribute for us, like, this is the price you're paying. This is the price you have to charge. There has to be a percentage, and I know it's not like a necessary good. Like there's protection, throughout the country on necessary goods. Like if you need bread or food, or maybe it's not even eggs. There's some items where you can't charge more, like it's percentage based off of it's a necessary good. You know what I'm talking about, because we went through this during the pandemic where all of a sudden toilet paper got out of control and people are like, well, people are scalping toilet paper. It's crazy. That's wasn't labeled as a necessary good, but there are necessary goods where grocery stores and places can only charge an X percentage above what they get charged. And that maybe that needs to happen here. I don't know. I don't know. Or maybe stop distributing stuff to Dick's Sporting Goods. I love Dick's Sporting Goods. Like, that's great. Let's stick to sporting goods, not Pokemon cards that you're going to sell booster bundles for $50 when they costed you 16, 17, maybe. I don't know. Like, it just seems like it's too much. And I think as a community, like, I'm genuinely concerned about these storefronts who are really just trying to grow the game. And I'm not trying to white knight, so don't think of it as that or anything like that. Like, that's not what this is about. This is just about bringing awareness to an ongoing issue that is just continuing to get worse and not letting it settle. Because I don't think it should settle right now. I don't think we should turn a blind eye to it because this is just what we're used to. This is just how things have become now. I'm not going to sit here and blame stores for charging double MSRP when they're getting charged double MSRP. Like, I can't do that. There is no way to point a finger right now at anybody outside of just Pokemon trying to figure out how this gets better. And I think right now it's just going to stay the same. Unfortunately, it's going to stay the same because it is going to continue to be a fear of missing out at MSRP. And if you miss out at MSRP, you just miss out, which is also going to struggle storefronts. But if you're a storefront watching this, don't buy a card game that you have no audience for just to increase your numbers. Don't do it. It's very, very dangerous. Don't look to absorb another storefront just so you can get their allocation numbers. It is very dangerous. Don't do it. I think that's terrible, terrible, terrible ideas. Be very careful. This is something you've worked really hard for. You've put in a lot of time and a lot of effort, and you have come in, and there's a time right now where Pokemon is at an all-time high, and I think that's great. I think you should be able to benefit off of this time because of all the work that you put in. But don't dig yourself into a hole that you can never climb out of, because it can go away faster than it started. It's crazy. It is crazy. So I guess, I don't know, I don't know. It is a frustrating time to be a store owner. It's a frustrating time to be a end consumer. At the end of the day, the end consumer loses. I don't know. It's got to get fixed. Dear Pokemon, this has to get fixed. That's all I got to say. You guys are awesome. Peace.